Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Hasu Hour. I am your host, Zerg. Today, the game is 2v2 and everyone is Terran, all four Terrans. My ally and I spawn in the bottom, my opponent's in the top right, and I decide to opt for a mech opening. This is me, Scion or light blue. My ally name appears to be a series of stick figures. And at the top we have Conda Duke and Comedian, Wise Guy. So Terran, usually you're going to see something like Bio Balls or Mech. There are some sort of oddball strategies like Raven or Banshee, but these aren't really reliable, right? They're not sort of force strategies that can win, even if your opponent knows what you're doing. They rely on the element of surprise, and the general army composition is going to be Bioball or Mech, right? Marine, Marauder, Medevac, or Hellion tank, and then late game Thor if there's an air threat. So pretty standard openings here. One gas for each of them. I opt for early 2 gas just to try to get that Vespian flowing in order to build my factories. And of course, to get that orbital command up ASAP in order to accentuate my mining with the mule call down. So Reapers here from our opponent. It's primary colored blue and red. And this is Heart of the Swarm, so Reaper doesn't have that cool grenade ability that it does in Legacy of the Void, but still a nice early harass unit, decent for scouting into the mid game. Not that strong. That's the downside, obviously. I mean, you can't have everything. So the Reapers are going to happen upon this early expansion. Quickly take out that SCV. My ally here, defending them pretty ably with a Reaper and a few SCVs. My Marine is able to come into the fray. They are doing some nice damage here. And this Reaper in particular, a nice heal by my ally. I guess he's wondering why I'm not coming to the rescue. I didn't see it until just now. So pay attention to what's going on, to your mini map. Finally, the threat is somewhat abated, and my Hellions come online. So a nice attack, setting my ally back significantly there. And you'll see he's got basically no tech. I do have 2 factories online now, a few Hellions. And I am going to throw down some add-ons onto these factories. But all in all, a pretty nice opening for our opponents. And I would say a small but not substantial lead for the top team at this point. I try to run down these Reapers with my Hellions. They have some sort of sixth sense, but it doesn't alert them to the Marine force chilling out by the Expo. And finally, the Reaper harass is finally over. 4 bases for our enemies. This Hellion strike force was scouted, able to get some hits and 1 kill, as well as forcing the cessation of the mining at the red natural. And you're going to run in here, force the mules to flee, but now they're trapped. Nice one shot there by the Marauder. And unfortunately, the Hellion Force is no more, but not a bad counter. I did manage to cause some problems with my enemy's mining. I got a few negligible kills. Probably that attack was on net slightly beneficial to us, not tremendously. Our opponents do have an expo advantage right now, so that is going to give them an economic edge, especially as these bases become saturated mined. Nice little defensive strategy here. Supply blocked, but a nice little bunker. And that's one thing about 2v2. You know, it does make sense maybe to throw down a little stationary D. You are going to be dealing with a lot of powerful attacks. So we decide to push at this point, which is a good idea. You know, we've got decent tech here, and our opponents have nice eco. So this is going to be a pretty successful push, forcing Con the Duke to lift. And now our enemies are kind of choked here, and the tanks are going to cause some real problems with regards to range. Hellion upgrade coming online. Another tank joining the push. The tank is just a phenomenal unit, just really, really powerful land v land. And blue is going to try a desperate attack, completely incinerated. So there's a nice eco edge now for the bottom team, the Pastels. But what is this? A medevac doing a drop, and all our forces are completely out of position to deal with this. Now my mining is messed up. Luckily my ally comes to my rescue. Oh, but a double drop on him, and this is just devastating. The medevac supplement to the forces really proving to be critical, and just complete chaos in the Pastels main. And then this 7 Marine strike force just mowing down SCVs. Must be 20 SCVs. At this point, I try sort of a desperate counter, given that our eco is so badly damaged. I want to just push in. I've got this tank force. I want to just crush my opponents. But this siege tank here really holding us at bay. And then a nice desperate stand by red here. Somehow taking on these siege tanks with nothing but Marines. I'm at a completely nascent eco here. 1 mule, few SCVs. Just absolutely devastated by that drop. My allies still saturation mined, and these bases coming back online for our opponents. So this is a very close game still. A lot of damage done on both sides. And blue here trying to push he's gonna meet the purple army head on, and these tanks were just not really in position. And nice micro here by Mr. Stick Figures, Mr. Lines, uh, just mowing through this army with his Marines. These 1-1 ups, really, really just dominating. And now the primary colors have no real army to speak of. Of course, I've got like 5 guys working in my main, so I shouldn't be one to talk. But my ally still looking very strong. 100 supply to the 50 and 50 supply. Trying to take on their entire army with one Hellion here. A nice drop and escapes. So really vital harass. And more drop ships being sent out over this way, possibly eyeing this soft target of the Red Terran main. And I'm just desperately trying to get my eco back online here. I do have finally an expansion, and really I have pretty much nothing. Nice drop here, and this is mostly just to distract. And in comes, oh, this is beautiful, really nice attack. And it looks like he is going to get this command center, this orbital command. It's dead. And he just says, peace, I'm out. Get the fuck out of Dodge. And Rand at this point taps. He just says, that's enough. You take out my orbital command. Although he's still probably like stronger, much stronger at this point than I am. His allies getting there. But purple is just a power force here, powerhouse. 161 supply, a little bit capped, but massive army. Third expo coming online. Blue also grabbing a third expo. He now has the combined powers of both forces. I always love that actually, especially like in the beginning, 2v2 when my ally leaves, because whatever he's busy or something, and now I get to play like both forces. It's a little helpful too that they're both Terran, although obviously it's not that easy to macro two players, because for one you don't have any info about your supply count, so you gotta make sure your supply glutted basically, and just build so many extra depots at your secondary player. So a push here by my ally, and this is a very nice army, pretty much maxed. Looks like blue is going for a counter, and it's going to be maybe a base race situation. One expo of my allies' expo is falling. There is a small army here that may be able to defend. Again, my eco is just completely shattered, but without any production facilities, it's going to be tough for our opponent to keep up here. Oh, but he's taking out both remaining active expansions for the stick figure man, who's forced to load up and flee to the island. What else can you do in such a situation? And his eco is just going to be non-existent, but so is everybody's at this point. Blue's only got one active base, although red has an active base. I have nothing. I decide to I make the dubious choice. I thought maybe the blue army was coming in here, so I make the dubious decision to fly to this island, and I'm just basically out of the game here, except for this Hellion force, which is participating in the base race. Blue decides to play sort of a bit of more defensive position. I guess he's thinking that he's got this base. He's sort of got this base. Maybe if he can beat our armies, he can win eco-wise. He did wipe out everything down here. Purple's got to be mined out of his moon pretty soon. So just have a lot of money here. And purple's a little bit trapped. This is a nice choke maneuver. Actually, it's not going to be easy to engage this army. But we are going to be able to wipe out the remainder of red's main. Blue desperately trying to set up a secondary main here and get some eco at the same time. I'm finally back in the game somewhat, expanding to my main again. Perp's planetary fortress, very nice. And he does have the gold income. And looks like we're going to see a confrontation. Blue linking up with the red forces. 1-2 versus 3-3. And that is all she wrote.